Generally, missile lords, for the most part, are relatively low impact. They typically don't have great monstrous mounts, and their missile attacks sometimes do decent single target damage. Sometimes they do okay penetration damage, but not nearly as good as AoE as like an actual explosion-based ability, right? Well, the Empire Master Engineer has both a monstrous mount and one of the best in the game right now with the steam tank, and also retains his explosive missile shot. Of course, you can see him holding that grenade launcher there. Makes him not only probably the best steam tank, arguable, I mean, the Hellblaster Polygon variant is very good, but this one also, just the fact that it also, of course, gets encouraged. Pigeon Bombs is kind of broken right now, needs a max number of charges for how strong it is. It is very strong, and honestly, if it had a max, like, 2-3 charges, I think it would be absolutely fine, to be honest, and maybe even could do with a little bit of damage nerf on top of it. Not anything too crazy, but being my favorite generic lord in the game now, and I would argue in many ways one of the best, I would even advocate for some minor nerfs to this guy. He is quite strong, but let's see how he does. This was a single lord tournament hosted by Tequila Sunset of the NC clan. I'll leave a link to his channel down in the description down below. He's going to be casting a bunch of games from this series. I think he had some issues with his stream, which I can definitely empathize with. So I decided to give this replay a cast. It's definitely yeah, an Empire replay, you could say. And we'll see how this goes. I do have a land ship as well, and I will say from the start, I do think that under the fruit rules for land battles, I think this should technically be illegal. It's not right now, but probably it should be because of how strong it is. We've also got a captain here to fill out that extra hero slot, and a healer, of course, to heal my war machines, which some people hate, but it was a thing in tabletop, I guess. Some halberdiers and spearmen for infantry, free company a little bit for some support, and Empire Knights in the back with a single great cannon because we're facing off against Chaos Dwarfs, who, while they do have their own very strong single-entity war machines, not nearly as strong in melee, although they do have some good trains. They also have very good long-range shooting single entities, right? The Death Shrieker rocket launcher, anti-infantry, or anti-large can be quite dangerous. Sort of a top attack rocket, especially on that tank, where the armor is thinnest, of course, would be quite dangerous, but they can get outnumbered significantly by multi-model artillery units, which Empire has access to, especially cannons. Recently, feeling like they've had an accuracy rework. They certainly feel a lot more accurate than they did previously for both Dwarfs and Empire. Haven't really tried Vampire Coast as much, but it feels like the Skaven Warp Lightning Cannons might be a little bit more accurate. Maybe they just were always that way and I never used them. But anyway, we've got two Death Shriekers here, Astrogoth, Iron Hand, Chaos Dwarf Warriors. Second line, I guess. The Meat Shield line is Laborers with 3 Fireglaves. Got some Orc Laborers out on the flanks here. Back line of Hobgoblin Spears. So, yeah, you can see my volume already telling in being able to route this Death Shrieker, but I do set the... well, I set the land ship initially to try and chase it off, but I'm going to actually switch targets here, feeling like I need to start doing damage to these others. This is going to allow that Death Shrieker to come back, though, because I didn't actually properly allocate, like, the land ship or steam tank to keep shooting it to make sure it shatters or, you know, gets killed fully. Also do have to be a little bit careful not to blunder my war machines in range of these Fireglaves, because land ship especially will die very quickly to armor-piercing missiles, unlike, say, the Thunder Barge, which absolutely will not. But, yeah. Chaos Dwarfs returning fire with the new magic missile. Oh no, actually no magic missile. I guess it's just the scatter shot from the artillery. I thought for sure Astrogoth can take... it's not a new magic missile, it's the magic missile that Chaos Dwarfs have always had, but you can now use the scatter shot to much better effect. Burning Wrath, I think it's called. Against multi-model units like artillery, saw that in a recent replay. But land ship's going to start to take a little bit of counterfire here. The cannon crew does actually get routed, which is a little bit unfortunate for me. But that's fine. They probably already paid for themselves, to be honest. Yeah, 1,000 damage value there, so cost-effective already. Wow, the land ship taking some heat. I'm going to pull it back initially. Right now, with those two, I mean, the Death Shriekers, I'm going to need to try and finish off if I can. But my priority is switching largely to the Infernal Guard. You can see I am taking some pot shots at Astrogoth here just to soften him up before he charges in. Then I'm going to pretty much plan to ignore him. Maybe allocate some free company to try and shoot him if I can. But as the infantry clash gets underway, I'm going to shortly pull the free company back. I'm under the holiday color scheme of Hawkland. Absolutely fantastic here in the desert. Astrogoth charging on in. Ooh, nice headshot by that landship cannon. That was very danger close. Did not hit a single state troop, though, very impressively. Astrogoth's going to pull up a Flamestorm, and we're going to full power, accelerate, charge on in. This is a calculated risk. I know the landship's going to take a lot of damage here, but I want these Fireglaives to commit to standing and shooting so I can get a Dwellers there. The other one gets impacted on the charge, so they don't get as much of a chance to shoot. The third one here is going to turn in fire, and I'm a little bit late on the follow-up. I had hoped to get the steam tank in there about the same time. So just go ahead and turn the landship to charge straight on in there as well to disrupt their shooting. The fire rockets are also raining down on the landship right now, so not great. Astrogoth gets my back line to shut down the Great Cannons, which had come back online. Empire Knights just in tactical reserve watching the whole thing happen. That's totally fine. The landship here also gets a little bit caught up. Might have taken some friendly damage there from the Master Engineer, but feeling pretty good about this disruption. We've even managed to get some spearmen in this back line, and here come the pigeon bombs as well. A rocket lands, a volley of the Fireglaves, another rocket kills the landship right as the pigeon bombs are landing on the Fireglaves there. They take massive damage, and then the steam tank's able to come in here and probably tear out this other unit. Yep, so Knights do get activated now. We're going to try and push them in this back line and use them to finish off these Death Shriekers so that I can keep my steam tank occupied up close with these Fireglaves, make sure I'm pointing the front towards them as much as possible. So I'm using that missile block chance to its best effect. Meanwhile, on the back line, yeah, the Free Company here having a saga all their own, facing off against Astrogoth, the three of them just trying to kite and shoot, getting hit by Flamestorm and fighting Astrogoth in melee. It's a saga of the Free Company, certainly. We'll keep that in the background as the Steam Tank Lord makes his charge here, and a little Earthblood there to keep him topped up. Was thinking I would wait, get enough Winds of Magic for another Dwellers, but at this point I'm thinking maybe it's more important to just try and sustain the Steam Tank. I already lost the Landship, so I want to make sure I can sustain the damage. And look at that. Oof, double hit, top attack, like I was saying. Right in the open hatch. Must hit the Engineer on the head. But that's a huge amount of damage, so those Death Shriekers are absolutely dangerous. Wow, look at that grenade lob, too. Out the top there. He just, you know, shoots it straight through the hatch. Let's not think too much about that, but yeah, that Knights are able to come in, make sure the Death Shriekers both stay offline, and with that, I'm feeling pretty safe. Balance power is also pretty decently in my favor, but my opponent, Joy Boy here, still going to fight to the bitter end for the honor of the Chaos Dwarfs, if they have such. Definitely not, but yeah, Astrogoth also just continuing to wail on Free Company. A little bit more Earthblood there, upgraded just to extend the duration. Master Engineer has been able to heal a decent amount so far, but I don't know why the healing cap info is not showing more. A bit interesting, but anyway. Yes, the Landship, sorry, Steam Tank once again. That grenade lob, yeah. Does a good amount of damage, pretty much all targets. Good amount of damage to single entities, multi-model units. Maybe should have its damage toned back ever so slightly, but overall I would say, yeah, Steam Tank Lord is amazing, and even still, he barely probably pays for himself here. I mean, tactically super nice, obviously, to have the Terror, to be able to Terror route stuff here. The Landship actually doesn't pay for itself, gets pretty close, but again, the distraction value, allowing some of these other units to come in and feast, certainly. Jade Wizard just on foot with just the spells, relatively cheap as well. Could get some good value with Dwellers there. The Great Cannon also, solid value. So it's just a nice combined arms Empire win, to be honest. Some of the Free Company also punching up okay. Spearmen getting their value back. So just nice spread across the board. Even the Empire Knights contributing well, despite being in tactical reserve initially. So well played to Joy Boy. It's definitely a tough one going up against Landship and Steam Tank. I think... Again, I think this should probably be banned in tournament rule sets, just because it does seem so strong. Like, you should really probably only be able to take a Steam Tank or a Landship. They're both that strong, I would say. That being said, Joy Boy still played it reasonably well. Both the Death Shriekers, despite taking so much early damage, were able to come in and get some damage value of their own. The Fireglaves, I prioritized a lot of value in shutting them down, so they didn't pay for themselves. But Astrogoth also kills a lot of free company, but doesn't end up getting a whole lot of actual damage value. I think he needed to try and stay up in the front line and try and, just pressure that steam tank as much as he can. Keep charging it in melee, maybe go kill the captain, or try and snipe the Jade Wizard also, since he's on foot. But definitely tough to make those decisions in the heat of the battle for sure. I will say, in this tournament, my next round was quite interesting. Ended up facing off against a Skaven build, and I'll probably end up showing that replay. I do think it was on Tequila Sunset's stream today, so if any of you guys want to jump the gun and go watch that from his perspective, be sure to check out his channel in the link down below. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.